Welcome to another episode of the Up and In Show. We are here at Cards and Culture. I'm not on the purple couch, but my two guys are on the purple couch. Jonah Smith, Landon Fabre.
Fabre, that's right.
I know. I always used to thought it was Fabre.
Yeah, a lot of people have said it a lot of different ways.
What are some other pronunciations that you've heard?
Fabrice.
Fabre.
Fabrice?
Yeah. Fabergé egg.
No.
Swear.
What?
And then the guy, I called someone else a nickname, and then he got mad at me, but that's the guy that called me Fabergé egg. That's a long story. We can talk about it another day, but yeah.
Okay. Well, we do have time, so that's good. But
we do.
Thank you guys. Well, maybe not because you have, you're off today.
Oh, I'm off.
But it's your anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate
congratulations.
How long are you married for?
5 years married. I've been with
Holy
my wife
shit.
for 8 years.
Nice.
Oh, thanks so much, man. It's been an awesome
5 years. Yeah.
It's been awesome.
And Jonah, you have to get to work soon too. So
Yeah. While we're talking at work. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for all listening. And if you guys listen, subscribe, please do that. But if you guys watch our YouTube channel, you're probably familiar with these two guys. Landon and Jonah both work at the shop, and they're rock stars here. They help me run the show with Kylie. Kylie's one day going to get up here. She's going to sit in the middle of the purple couch. You're gonna be Can you imagine that, Kylie? Kylie's here. She's watching
She's
us.
going to be the...
I feel like that would be fun if she was in
behind
the
the
middle and she just holds her mic like this.
Just like right to her chest.
Super awkward.
The Will Ferrell move, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what to do with my hands. But seriously, thank you guys. I'm excited to do this. We're just going to bullshit a little bit. I want to learn a little bit, or give our listeners, watchers, whatever, a little bit more insight into you guys because, Landon, you do a ton of stuff on the breaks and you're a personality there. And Jonah, you're the kind of the face of the shop when people walk in and do all this, and you know a lot about the cards. What?
Good face.
Kylie.
Kylie
It's all right. I like it when you had a longer beard, but that's just me. That's it.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Not a big
Yeah,
deal.
it'll be there.
We'll get
man.
there.
We had a nice thing going, the 3 beards, and then he went and chopped it off. Yeah. Actually, I chopped mine off.
You chopped it off
sure.
first, and then I was inspired. But
I just need a change,
Yeah.
But no, we're just going to talk. We're going to bullshit a little bit. I want to learn more about your journey a little bit. You guys are cousins, so you kind of grew up together, right?
Oh, yeah.
a little bit.
You guys were shitheads
A
together.
little bit is an under-exaggeration.
Who was more of a shithead between the two of you?
It depends on what we're talking about.
All right.
It was me 100%.
I was going to say, I was like, you were quiet. It's definitely
It's
you.
100%.
No, it was like this fluctuation wave of like, you watch out for Jonah. And then, not for me. This was like my dad. And
Yeah,
them, you know what I'm saying?
exactly. He was the kid that your parents weren't 100% sure if they wanted you to hang out with them.
Right, but we were always, but they still let me do it. I don't know why. But like, it's still like, it took like probably 20 years for them to be like,
20 years.
Yeah, I know it's a long time, but
They're still coming around, honestly.
Yeah,
realistically, man. And then,
They're skeptical some days. It just depends on
but they love him now. I mean, he's 100% accepted as of a few months ago.
Glad my family accepts me.
No, we're just trolling. He's always been loved, but yeah, I guess he was always more of a shithead.
And what's the relationship again? I forget. You guys have the same grandma. What's the?
So,
what makes you
do you
guys
want to
cousins?
explain this?
You explain it.
What makes
I'll
you guys
explain it.
cousins?
You explain it.
My grandfather is his dad's brother.
Okay. Wait, say it again. Sorry.
So my grandfather is his dad's brother, which means we had we had the same
So his mom was my first cousin, basically.
right. That's what you guys are second cousins, technically.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes, yeah.
Cousins by blood and the bloodline. I get it. Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I've asked that a bunch of times, and now
It's cool. Now everybody
it's
knows.
on. Now it's on
Yeah,
video.
now-
I can always
now
go
you
back.
can go back and
yeah,
watch
I
it.
never
Yeah.
have to ask you guys again. Let's go.
100%.
I'm gonna like send you a link every time.
Just be like, it's right here. Yeah. If I ask you, you're gonna be like, hold on.
timestamp and everything.
That's great. 516. Kylie
There you
got
go.
it. There we go. I'll never have to worry about it again.
What happened to people time stamping the in the comments on YouTube? I don't see that happening anymore.
Oh yeah, that's
It'd be
true.
like when people wanted to get to the chase sooner, they would time stamp it and put it in the comments.
Yep.
You don't want to watch some 15-minute video to see how a guy makes Coca-Cola. You just want to get the list of ingredients. They would time stamp it ingredients here.
I know. They
skip like 10 minutes.
They used to have the little dashes too, like of like important parts and
You
stuff.
can also put it. Well, you used to be able to
They
put it
still
in the
have that.
description
Oh, they do?
too.
I think so, yeah.
That was
I knew that in the description. Yeah. I always had that idea for doing it for my podcast, but we just it's a lot of work. You got to listen back to it after you just
that's a
talk.
lot,
And it's
You start to go insane.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so I'm like, wait, I
while.
just talked about this for an hour, then I got to listen to it and make notes.
We'll just make Kylie do it. It's cool.
Poor Kylie. Yeah, just sit on the couch.
Should give us a nose flare there. You should
Yeah,
and a nose flare eye roll.
I'm used to it.
100%.
That's tough.
Joe's gonna be late.
Yeah. Joe's
Joe might not be making it in
Joe
today.
might not be late. We're just
a
gonna
little
put him on
under the
blast
weather.
here, but had a few drinks last night. We
we
were
had a good
all
time, I'm
together
sure.
last night. It was a good time though. It was fun. Yeah.
Landon didn't show up, but it's cool.
Oh, it's all good. I was just getting my kid. I mean, there's nothing wrong.
Just being responsible and stuff. Just at home with his kid. Yeah.
I was going to call you and say, just go to my dad's house because it's right down the road. I was like, Jonah, you can break your 7 years of sobriety and just and then go to my dad's house.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
That was great. All right, let's get a little background though, real quick. Landon, did you grow up in Baton Rouge?
Born and raised, both of us. Born and raised
Love
in Baton
that.
Rouge.
Let's
yeah.
go. What part?
Oh, man, everywhere.
All over?
All
Nice.
over. I mean,
What high
mainly
school?
Baton Rouge. So, I mean, I went to a little private school most of my most of my time,
Yeah.
up until 8th grade, and
Nice.
then I went to Baton Rouge High
Yep.
for my first year in high school as a freshman, and then I moved to Denham High.
Nice.
My last 3 years of high school. But I mean, I was living in Denham for probably 5 years before that. Anyway.
And your story, you went out to Colorado, right?
Colorado.
That's
I've
cool.
been a lot of places.
You were in the Navy for a little bit,
I was
right?
in the Navy for 5 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's not a little bit. That's a long time.
Yeah, it was good. It was interesting. That'll be more one day. We'll
Yeah.
talk. I could literally spit.
He's
I
an
could just,
explorer.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Sea Explorer.
Yeah.
He's
Underwater.
an explorer too. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, your story is fun. So like, you born and raised Baton Rouge,
Yep.
right? Woodlawn High.
Woodlawn High.
That's right, baby.
Woodlawn, baby.
Represent the weed lawn.
Yeah, duh.
And then what did you do after high school? You always in a band, right?
Yeah.
That's badass. That's why
Playing
you got
out
the
of
gig.
state shows and stuff like that.
How many out of state shows? How many times a year you think?
We played Texas, Mississippi,
California,
Tennessee.
right?
No, I just went to California
Yep.
with a friend's band.
Was that on the tour? Like, did y'all just cut through on that tour? Or was it their tour?
They were playing some kind of like, it was like a showcase to like play a big festival.
Oh, okay.
So then they had to play in California, but I just went with them on that. But then we played in Florida. We played pretty much the whole southern region.
Nice. And you were the vocalist.
Yeah, I was
In
I
a
was I was the vocalizer.
The
I,
vocalist.
I love it. No, Anthony said vocalist. Like,
Yeah, I
you would
like it.
never.
Yeah,
I
there you
love
go.
it. That's
Really good.
you only got that from hanging out with the man.
I had to
you
think
know?
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You saw me
awesome.
think about
Yeah,
it as I said it. I was
vocalist.
like, vocalist.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, that's
Most
the word.
people would be like, "Oh, screamer!" Or like,
Well, that was my next thing. What do you classify the music as? Because I know I've said it wrong a couple times. What's
hardcore.
Hardcore. That's what I was gonna say. Nice. I
Look
would have
at
been
that.
2
You're
for
learning
2.
things. It's
I
not
would have been like, you're a
screamo.
vocalist in a hardcore band.
There you go.
Wow.
I'm honestly proud.
yeah, me too, dude.
Thanks,
It's way easier to say air
It's easier to say screamo too, and that's like
or the
wrong.
right way
Yeah,
is
I was just
metal.
gonna say, right? What?
Yeah, metal. Say metal.
Metal.
Yeah,
You know,
metal
metal
sounds
sounds
very
better
generic.
because
It's okay.
everyone.
Yeah,
because
metal's-
it all
metal's
originates, essentially from a lot of that. So that's like,
That's cool. I wasn't sure. For some reason, I thought metal would be more frowned upon than screamo.
No.
And what's the
Metal-
reason that
metal's
people
okay.
don't like screamo?
It's just
it's the kind of genre that came with it over
kind
the
of
time.
pigeonholed into like a certain like
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I don't know.
subcategory.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's pretty amazing what you did on a mic. Like for real. Like I think
Insane.
it's pretty badass. So maybe we'll have to clip some of your
Oh,
your
yeah, we
clips
got
into,
that.
into this video.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Let's
vessel.
go.
Look it up. It's on YouTube. The vessel's still there. They're
Is
out
it?
there.
Let's go.
They're insane.
So where can they find it? Yeah, seriously, is there a way to find it if somebody wants to go listen?
Yeah, the vessel on YouTube and Decoy on YouTube.
That's the name. That was the name of your band.
Yeah, Decoy's on Spotify too and Apple Music.
Oh,
and all
really?
that, Yeah.
That's legit. Is that like the stuff you were playing for me when we went to Lafayette that one time?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was the one.
That was nuts. That was we were going out to your camp that night.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
time.
he was
That's
playing
awesome.
his.
Yeah.
That was a good time. We got to do that again.
Oh, dude,
Definitely.
anytime. We can go anytime. The ticks
I'm
are
ready
bad in
for
the
that.
summer.
Yeah, me too. That was fun.
I love it, dude. We'll go out there and just chill. We'll just go sit out in the woods and go meditate in the woods.
Love that.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my
Yeah.
shit. That's what
wake
I
up-
did. I told you
I'm
that the morning of, you guys were still sleeping a little bit, and
Yeah,
there was like a
bro.
deer that walked in the front yard,
Yeah.
and I sat there for 30 minutes, and this deer was where those statues are right there. I was like, it was nuts. It was fun.
It's like 6 in the morning. I wake up and I'm just like, I go outside. It's like fog settling.
Yeah.
And I walk down the cement stairs and Anthony's just sitting there in a rocking chair like that.
Butt naked Chris
I'm like,
Paul.
"Yeah, bro." Chilling.
I was actually, petting the deer.
feeding it.
Yeah.
We were best friends. Yeah.
It was awesome, man. It was
Oh,
awesome.
man. I love that. I love nature and that kind of stuff for real. So that was really cool for me. And we were going out to the Lafayette show. That was our first collectible show that we went to, right? All three of us together.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it was
That
awesome.
was the only one that was our first one too, right?
We went twice actually, but was
To
that
Lafayette?
the first one? Yeah, didn't we go twice?
Yeah, we went twice. We went the first time and
You set up the second time.
and then I
Yeah.
bought a table the second time.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
So we didn't do no, because I think
I know me and him stayed the first time.
night. Yeah, it was the second night. The second
Yeah.
time that I came because I was supposed to come the first night, and then something happened and I couldn't go.
I completely forgot that even happened. Like
Yeah.
that we went twice.
Yeah,
And
yeah, me too,
'cause
yeah.
The first time I think we were going to stay at the camp. The second time it actually worked out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Good thing we got Jonah here to keep us in line.
Yeah, that's
The
what it
memory.
is. 100%.
Our memories are
Honey.
a little fuzzy sometimes.
Mine's perfect.
On
We're good.
point.
Yeah, because and for real though, like I tip my cap to you, but I'm gonna bring this up. You're 6 years sober now, right?
I think it makes 6 in October.
Okay.
It's insane.
5+. That's crazy.
Absolutely nuts.
And I think it's the most amazing thing. Like I tell him that all the time. And to me, I appreciate being in his presence a lot because there's times where I'm like, I don't need this beer, I don't need this drink, right, or whatever. And it's like just being around somebody who holds you to that standard is fun for me. I like that because like sometimes I'll just drink a beer for no reason. You know what I'm saying? We're sitting here and I'm like, wait, I don't need to drink that beer. You know, it's like little things like that I think are cool and hold you accountable. So and to be able to go out last night and have drinks and go to New York and do all those things, I think that's amazing. I really do tip my cap.
I was a bad influence last night. I was making jokes. I was making.
No, he's the best.
Like,
he's
come on,
the
Joe,
best
get some
sober
more.
person to be around.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. Because like he's like, yeah, dude, I support you. And this is I think this is such a solid like, what is it, philosophy to go by. It's like you do whatever you want, and I'm gonna encourage you to have a good time.
Right.
But it's like, but if you start getting nuts, it's like I'll try to help you, but I'm gonna enjoy every stupid thing you do.
Oh, 100%.
That's your entertainment.
100%.
That's your and it's hard to like be sober in those situations and not or people to not feel guilty almost. You know what I'm saying? Like there's times like you don't make people feel guilty, I don't think, about like, either them drinking or you not drinking, right? And even though you might feel certain ways and stuff, like it doesn't come off, at all like that. So I think that's super dope.
Takes a lot of effort.
Does it?
It gets easy.
Yeah, that's what I feel
It really depends, honestly.
But you were a bad influence last night.
Last night, yeah, I was a very bad influence.
You weren't for me, which was good, yeah.
Yeah, but in other times I was trying to be.
I know. I got out early last night.
In New York and New Jersey, I was trying to be a bad influence.
That's what I was saying. In New York, he was like, the way the night went, I had to go. I went with DJ, my friend who played with the Yankees. Yeah, so like I went with him for a little while, and they went to go meet Callie at her show.
Right. Was that fun though?
I didn't get to go. I didn't get to see Callie's show. They said it was awesome, and I wound up being like, I got back to the hotel when they were getting back, and I was like, man, I really wanted to go and see her, and he was like, fuck it, let's go. Come on, get up. And like I was kind of like in bed, like
get up, pimp. That's what he probably said.
And I was like, all right, fuck it, let's go. So it was cool, yeah. And awesome. We went from like 2:30 to 4, like in New York.
Degenerate hours.
Degenerate hours for sure. The bar was clearing out. Like it was
hanging out with the alley rats
everywhere you were going. Yeah,
it was great.
No, it was in New York, so it was probably like Big L or Biggie or something.
Yeah. It was definitely Biggie. Jay-Z.
Yeah.
New York State of Mind.
That was fun though.
That was a good trip.
That was
the Atlantic City and the National. You got to come next year to Chicago.
Next year. I'm hoping. I hope it's going to just be bigger and better. I heard that it's going to be bigger and better. Obviously in Chicago. No offense to hometown or whatever, but like, but I have heard that it's in Chicago. It goes crazy. That there was like kind of some scheduling discrepancies or things kind of lined up with the same schedule as the National.
Yeah, I heard some stuff. No, with Atlantic City, I heard it's like mixed reviews on how they felt about it being there this year. Like a lot of people.
And y'all said it was pretty packed though, right? Now I know there's a difference,
packed.
But that's what I'm saying. People were like, yeah, it was packed, but it wasn't like as crazy as it has been, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then you went.
Which one do you think was more packed?
Yeah.
I think Chicago was more packed. What do you think? I think so. And it was just more, I think too, there was way more attention in the hot, right? It was like when everything was inflated at that time. So it was like, I feel like that was a bigger one. But everybody hated on AC, but I liked AC because everything was really close to each other. Like you didn't have to, in Chicago, the convention center was 35 minutes away. Kylie and I took, we went by ourselves one time, like the first night, and it took us an hour and a half to like just in commuting, like we were like, this sucks. So we only wound up going like 2 or 3 days because I brought the whole team. We were like staying in the city and stuff. So that's what I liked about it. Is sick. AC was you could get to different spots and you could actually hit 2 or 3 parties in a night. But in Chicago, you had to like commit to one because it was like,
I loved how close everything was.
Yeah,
I honestly loved the spot.
Well, I did too.
I seen somebody got robbed though, and people were talking about that. Like they were walking with their briefcase or something. They got robbed,
really?
And then someone said that they're talking about the cab drivers. They're like they went to get out, and the dude was like 20 apiece.
Oh my God!
So imagine that.
Well, did I ever tell you about the story that the one cab driver told Kylie and I? We got in a cab, and he was like, "Hey, you see all those cabs?" He was like, "I'm gonna be the honest cab driver right now," and he was like, don't let any of these cabs on the island, because AC is kind of like its own separate little thing in South Jersey. Right. He's like, the max that you can pay for any cab ride is $13.50. It's right there on the fine print on the side of the door. So he's like, some of these people, they'll turn the meter off and they'll just tell you $20. He's like, that's bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that dude tried to turn the meter off on us, and then he turned it on after we were like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
What did he say? He said like $15.
Yeah, he said 15, and I was like, dude, I've taken this trip 4 times. I was like, it's never been more than 7. I'm gonna pay you 10. He was like 15. He was trying to like argue with me. I was like, I'm gonna give you 10. That's a $3 tip, and we're gonna call it even. He was like, Okay. And he just starts going,
And then he turns the meter on.
Yeah,
That's
they turn the
crazy.
meter
It's
on.
like
and then
this,
the meter was like
corruption.
$7.80.
Yeah,
I was like,
$7.80. It was like $7.80 every time. He's
Yeah.
like, you're not getting us.
Yeah, I was like, stop. Like, stop. And then the last day, I think I went on by myself. Same thing happened. Dude tried to do the same thing. I get in the car at the hotel, and he's like 15, and I'm like, no. I was like, it's gonna be $7.80. So like, I'll give you 10. Like, and he's like, no, traffic right now. I was like, dude, I've sat in the traffic, and it's still $7.80. And he was like, all right. And then literally, he took a different way. We got there in quicker than any of the other ways that we went. I was so pissed. Like, this slapdick.
Well, I was told like they have to memorize like a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong, right? Like all these New York cab drivers and everything. It's crazy. But I mean, that's pretty crazy. The corruption.
The corruption,
like, Yep.
Everybody's
turn
trying
the
to
meter
hustle for
off.
a dollar. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, it's crazy.
At least Uber is like all in there.
Yeah.
It's all like automated kind of, right?
exactly,
Whatever the case may be,
Yeah. All right, let's talk about, so we're talking about the national collecting. You've been into cards your whole life? Or when did you start?
First time I remember like opening cards was in 2003.
That sounds
for
right. Yeah.
LeBron's
year.
rookie
Yeah.
year. That was like the chase. So it's like my dad would go to different stores trying to find the LeBron stuff because he thought he was the next big thing, which, I mean, most people did.
Yeah. And so you were born in what year? 97?
96.
96. So you were what, 7 or 8 during that time? Wow, that's pretty cool.
Oh my God, it's his birthday in 2 days.
I know, it is.
Oh, yeah, I forget
It's
about
insane.
that.
Yeah. Turning 26?
So happy early birthday.
Look at you. Happy early.
Look at that on camera.
Anniversary, early birthday.
We're
Wow,
good.
that's stuff. What about you? What do you remember collecting early age, or is this?
Oh, everything. Yeah, I mean, like, relatively, right? Like, I don't know what it is, but the collections that people used to, like, the things people used to collect back then was different. You know, my grandmother
100%.
had a collection of bells.
Yeah.
Russia,
Yep.
Germany,
That's
all
cool.
these crazy places, you know? And then I remember the old Golden Key comics and old sports cards that relatives would have, and then we would kind of get sports cards by one of my uncles every like birthday or Christmas. He would go actually to Southpaw, I'm sorry, and go buy a card or two. And it was like, you know, some like Shaq insert or a Michael Jordan insert from the 90s, and it was fun. And I got fewer than my brother because I was more interested in other things, and then my brother had gotten more, and so I have some of his stuff, some like Jeter rookies and things like that.
He had good Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah,
stuff.
I still have them.
You did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Him and his brother both did.
Nice.
yeah, so they're all just
I used to try
hanging
to
around.
sneak a couple Yu-Gi-Oh! cards.
Bad influence again. This kid coming around.
Oh, I
Just
know.
robbing
We did a
you.
good Yu-Gi-Oh! one.
From the
Unbelievable.
jump, bro. Yeah.
You don't need that. It's better off in my hands.
It's a PSA 2 now.
It's all good. We borrowed each other's clothes.
It'll be a
wore each
10
other's-
in my hand.
Just sabotaging it. Yeah.
It's nothing.
Look at that crease.
Yeah.
You guys are a little younger than me, so I think I've asked you this, but did you ever hear of POGs, or do you remember?
Yeah,
POGs?
we talked about it before.
I was talking to you about that. Yeah.
Someone, I don't know who it was that walked in. We were talking about it, and we brought the conversation.
I didn't know what it was.
So
Maybe it was young.
I've always been a collector my whole life, and that's that was the first thing that I remember collecting. I remember being like 5 or 6 years old, and POGs were these fucking circle cardboard, like pieces of cardboard that you put in a tube, and like you collect. They had different designs and art on them, but then the big thing was, I don't even remember the rules of the game. It was something so stupid, but like you stack these things up and you're supposed to like hit them with this slammer, and it was like a metal piece. Some of them were thicker than others, thinner than others, and they had like different variations. But I don't know. I was so young, but that's the first thing that I remember collecting. Then, did you guys ever have? This is gonna sound weird, but fingerboards. The little
Tech
skateboard.
decks,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Tech decks.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You-
exactly.
Oh, yeah. That
I have a
was-
funny story
that was
about
awesome.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great. But Funko, the sodas that they do, the Funko sodas, they still have POGs in the bottom of those. It's the character, and then 1 in 6 or whatever, 6 to a case, and then
Is the chase?
the chase is usually in one of those. So like
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. So they still have the POG. It's still a thing, kind of, but there's no game associated with it, from what I understand. But Tech Decks, funny story that you said that, and I looking at my hand, man. We would so in
He's
school
been
we
through
would-
war, huh?
Dude,
Well, those things got intense. Like when you were doing that, like
Scarred knuckles.
well, I'm telling you, man, we would do all types of stuff in school with them. Very popular, you know.
Right.
And so, like, I just never when they. I know things are going crazy.
Yeah,
They're
what
set up
was
for the food festival outside.
oh, that's right.
yeah. But yeah, so like, I guess I just couldn't get one right then or whatever. So I was like, I just never went and bought them. We didn't do that too often or whatever. So I was using a pencil. It's like, oh, it has no wheels. Okay, cool. It has no wheels. But like, I was still making it do the tricks, like ollie and doing kick flips and stuff like that. And so one time I was like, bro, come on, trying to make this thing spin, do this, whatever. So I do it like that, and I slam my hand down. The pencil just straight up. And bro, I have the piece of lead still in my hand.
We just read about
That's
that.
in my hand, bro. Lead poison. I'm telling you.
That's what I said. I said my whole life I felt like I had lead poisoning because when I was like 6, my sister stabbed me in a car. She was like, "Stop it, Anthony!" Like I was like, "Hey, I was like, the thing's in my hand," and it was like,
and then we just read about the
what
the
is
layer
it?
of
What was
skin.
it?
I think it was just because of the layer of skin, like kind of like a tattoo.
Yep. It gets stuck in the layer of the skin as a tattoo, so the lead looks like it's there still, but it's not. It's just
It's
like
dissolved in your body and your bloodstream and affected your brain for a
a
while already. Yeah,
exactly.
Right, and I think it's actually graphite. Now, maybe you. I mean, I know you're
I'm
like
old.
5 years
Oh
old.
yeah, his was definitely
no,
lead.
5 years
for
older.
sure.
I'm not
like,
saying
man,
you're
maybe
old.
you're fucked up. Like,
Sorry, I didn't mean it that
You're
way.
destroyed. His was next to the first wheel.
Jesus, help us,
not that old. Come on. That's all right. I like being the old guy.
I didn't mean it. You're still young. You're not.
I'm
old.
very young. Yeah, I
he's
feel
young.
young. But I'm like, it's all about perspective. You guys think,
100%.
I remember when I was 26, I'm like, 32 is old.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I think it's.
once you crack at
older,
30,
yeah.
you're knocking on 40's door.
I can't wait to be 40, bro. I'm gonna have
that's
salt
the
and pepper
plan.
in the beard, bro. It's gonna be nice.
That'll look fire.
I
it'll
looked
be
it up
good.
last night. Average age a person lives is 83 years old.
But there you go.
Yeah, but the good die young. So let's come on. Let's get.
I'm also I'm weird though. I'm gonna live till like 138.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be weird.
100%, 138.
Yeah.
That's
gonna be
insane.
I'm
meditating on the
100% living
mountain.
120 plus. But I'm saying like at 100.
Wow, I love. Dude, no,
Golly's
I'm all
face
about it.
behind
I
this
love
is
the
but
confidence.
at 100, I'm gonna be like in shape. Like I'm not like decrepit. Like oh, I'm just hanging on to life. Like I'm gonna be thriving and shit.
You're
I
gonna be
love
looking good.
Gottlieb's
Yeah.
reaction to this.
Yeah.
Why?
And
You
I'm
don't want
like-
to live that long?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to.
Why? Why not? You just want
No,
to
why
die?
not? 100%. You get to see like 3 generations.
That's what I mean.
It's insane.
Think about all the like the evolutions and the how many hopefully I can have some kids someday, but
You'll have kids one day.
I don't know that
It's
lead
okay.
poisoning.
We're done.
maybe have a couple kids. We talked about. We probably got some out there that I just got to track down.
yeah.
They'll find me,
Ancestry will be
hopefully.
good.
They'll find me when they're 18. It'll be good. Man, that's funny. What about yo-yos? Did you guys ever collect yo-yos?
Never
Or
yo-yos.
had it like do I was.
I remember You remember Beyblades? I remember
never
we
got
used to
into
do the
Beyblades.
Beyblade stuff.
Bakugans,
What is
Beyblades.
was a thing. we
Beyblades.
did.
I didn't know. I don't know what those are.
It's
What are
like
those?
you put it in like a little arena, and it has like a little thing, and you pull, and they spin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was like a
Battle each
TV show.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
around the same time as Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. So
I
people
never
like
got
that.
into Yu-Gi-Oh though.
So we were into Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, we liked it.
What is
what?
it?
Were those the ones that
Mighty
like
B.
flipped?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't have those, but that was a
Generate- yeah.
that was
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
just a commercial
And
for
she
me.
said
I never had
Slinkies
any.
too. Slinky, did you ever
Slinkies,
collect them? I didn't collect them. I had
collect
them. Like, and it was like cool because I remember the commercial, like something that was like catchy in your head. So I remember.
I was mainly
Right.
basketball, football, and Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
And then-
Pokemon.
I had a little bit of Pokemon. It wasn't. I liked Yu-Gi-Oh more.
I think
Just
people were really. I think we were very involved in the video games. I wasn't as much, but I know him and my brothers were very, very involved in the video games of Pokemon. Had some Pokemon cards here and there, but
Yep.
Yu-Gi-Oh we really liked. But we never remember we never played any of this. Like this
Right.
wasn't like us going to
We
Rocket's
weren't-
hideout.
wasn't like tournaments or anything.
Right, it wasn't like that here. It was like everyone's like, "Oh, cool, Charizard, he's red. That's my favorite color. Let's
Yep.
get." That's more of what it was like.
yeah.
But
100%.
But definitely, I mean, the Pokemon games were super strong down here. Like
I played them big. I was big on the Game Boy Pokemon games, and
100%.
that's what got us into the card games. And it was like one of the things. I lived in a neighborhood where it was like you could ride your bike to your neighbors' houses and all that stuff, right? So we would all like just ride bikes to this one cul-de-sac, and we'd all actually play the game on the concrete. Like and it's
That's
like,
sick.
Think about how bad those cards are in
Oh,
shape.
yeah,
but
they're
like,
terrible.
Yeah, 100%. But I remember having a binder that was like my non-play binder that I was collecting because I just played the game, and it was like every Pokemon that I would catch in the game, I would want to have that card in my binder. So I had like a nice little collection going.
That's
too.
super cool.
Yeah,
That's
so that's
so
what got
cool.
me into Pokemon and made me like love cards and shit. And then LeBron like really was like got me into sports cards heavy. I liked baseball cards when I was a kid. And I remember my dad buying me a bunch of like 1990 Donruss boxes, and we just ripped the shit out of those.
That's
I thought they were
awesome,
so
man.
cool.
I always thought
yeah.
the baseball cards were just so plain from whenever I was like coming up. So like the basketball cards just because I just like the chrome stuff. Whenever
just
it was
pop
like,
more.
I mean they had it, but like the older cards.
Yeah. And then you said KD is when you really like
Yeah,
went
that was
off,
when I
right?
got
Like,
heavy, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Because it was Jamarcus Russell's like football year
yep.
too. So it was KD for basketball, and I was a big LSU fan. And
So you were trying to get
Jamarcus
Jamarcus stuff. Yeah. That's pretty cool. What was the product like back then? It was Tops, right? It was all Tops.
Yeah, I was
and
doing a lot of
Chrome
Tops
and-
Chrome, Tops Finest for basketball.
Oh, finest.
Finest was sick for that year. It
Yeah.
had like the red.
Yep.
It was
I
awesome.
remember those cards.
And then for football, like Bowman, like the Bowman Chrome, those are cool.
Yeah. And when did you start getting, because you're so knowledgeable in comics. When did you start like really diving in, or you were always a comic collector? Because I never collected comics ever in my whole life.
I mean, a lot of people have it, right? Or I don't want to say it's dying. I don't think it's dying. I think there's always going to be a market for sure.
I
but
agree.
It's just a little bit more of a niche market nowadays. A little bit more. But I mean, like Marvel and DC never like were apparent to me. Like I never really gave as. Man, it's so hard to even think about it because I think the first comic I ever got was Spawn. And
I remember when you had the figure too, the action figure.
Oh, and all that. I had in McFarlane.
See, he always collected other stuff. I was strictly like cards. He had like other stuff. Like, don't you even have like currency that's like?
Oh yeah,
I got into that too when I was a kid. I would collect coins. Like we would go to flea markets.
No, dude, I have literally binders full of coins.
Yeah, you should
like
you should look into that because there is like.
Because I remember as a kid, I'd be like, oh, this is cool, and like I didn't know anything about it.
I had a whole drawer full of like those coins that you would get at the flea market, 100%. And people would have them in like a little cardboard stapled thing, right? And it would say like the year, place, or whatever.
Right, and it was like for the year. It'd be like, oh, quarters for the year, 2001. And it'd be like every quarter for the year, 2001. Yeah, no, we have. I mean, we have a bunch of currency. A bunch of currency and stuff. Just laying around that I haven't even touched, don't even think about. Like I don't even know about it. I know there's good investment potential. I have no idea though to tell you anything.
What's CSG's currency company called?
Whatever it is that's number one in the world.
Yeah, we're gonna use them.
Yeah,
is it PM? No.
I forget what it is honestly. Yeah. All I know is I want that $20 bill graded that's back there.
That we gotta do that.
Crispy. Yeah, because in 10 years when everything's on the blockchain, we're not gonna have any. I'm just kidding. We're gonna have that.
Let's get that. I need to get that out of there because that's just sitting.
And then you're gonna have your NFT currency just in the metaverse.
Yeah,
it's just that graded $20 bill. Just in
that's
the
all I have.
It's just hanging up.
I just gotta. That's so great.
You and Lila, she's gonna have robot legs and stuff, and you're just be chilling.
Imagine Lila in the metaverse.
Lila in the metaverse. She'd be a perfect picture.
Oh, she would kill it. She would kill it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I never got into comics as much as like that's crazy.
That's what I was saying though. I think it first started off with Spawn for me and like in Image Comics, and that was a more grittier side in the 90s. So it was like this more mature thing. And my mom, before that, my mom used to get me religious comics. Like they were like superheroes that were archangels.
What was the name of
it was called Archangels.
Was it Bible Man? You remember
Bible Man? Oh my gosh! And Bible Man, and
like make that up, or is that real?
No, that was a real
Bible Man was like a superhero comic.
He was a superhero.
He was a superhero,
and so that's how they were relating
movies
to
and everything.
Yeah, yeah. And
Bible Man.
So yeah, I guess religion brought me into comics in some way, shape, or form. And then like the art style was kind of the same for some of these things as Spawn was. So my mom saw Spawn and was like, oh yeah, that looks kid friendly. And I'm like 7 years old, and I'm looking at the Violator ripping people in half and ripping people's hearts out, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Yeah. And so, it's this downward spiral. So I always so I always went after Image Comics kind of earlier on, and then later on, not until the pandemic, did I want to start exploring more things in the realm of Marvel and DC, and kind of learn more about the lineage and hot books and what the market's looking like and the investability of it, and then also the collectability of it. So that's, I was young when I got into comics, but I didn't passionately care as much as I do nowadays, where it's like I get my books, stash them away, super excited about it. You build a collection over time, and I just collect what I like. And I think that, if everyone's trying to get this whole huge umbrella of comics, or like, I need to only Marvel, only DC, only this, or the same thing with cards, like only this, you're gonna short yourself on the end, on the back end, because if you're not just collecting what you like, it's kind of like you're screwed in that aspect. You just need to go with what you like, because that's what's gonna keep people in the hobby, honestly.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think, like you were saying, it's a niche market for comics, but to me, I feel like, no joke, that's why I think I'm so intrigued with them over the last like 6 months since I've really gotten to know you too, is I think they have more long-term potential than cards, 100%. Honestly.
100%.
LeBron James is great, but he's one person, right? And he's got his one market. Mm-hmm. Marvel and DC are living forever. The metaverse is going to change all of that again, right? Like where these things are going to be artifacts, literally artifacts, and so I think in 20, 30, 50 years, like original comics are
Oh
going to
yeah,
be.
the OG stuff is
Yeah.
going to be stupid. I
That's
think.
what I
Oh,
mean.
it's as stupid as
It
It already
already-
is,
yeah,
but,
it
I,
already
but,
is.
but I
That's
think
what's
it's going to be
scary.
like
Yeah.
on a unfathomable level.
And I feel like there's more
100%.
$1 million comics for even right now than there are $1 million sports cards. What do you think about that?
I would say no.
No?
I would. There's a lot,
Yeah.
but I would say that because of the production aspect behind cards,
Yeah.
they printed millions of comics too. Don't get me wrong, and especially in the 90s and 80s. We all know about this, right? But I'm just saying, I think that because cards had this like very wide range of things, I think there are more expensive cards out there.
I would say it's because of the speculative aspect too. So like
100%.
a comic,
That's
it's
a
like
good
the
point.
old
Yeah.
stuff
Right.
is like done for. You can't make another Spider-Man #1.
Never.
But
Right.
there can always be another LeBron. So it's
Yeah.
like that'll come out and that'll be $1 million that year.
Right.
So-
Right. That makes sense.
That you
would be the
hit it
only
right on
reason
the
I would
head.
say.
Yeah.
Like 100% with the whole like comics are long term. And this is I've had plenty of conversations with Jonah and you, and when I was showing you the GPA website and all the analytics behind it. Comics are always to me going to be a long term investment.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I think people sleep on in the 80s and 90s, even for cards. That is, they have value to them and they will be worth something in the future, but it's even more niche than the 60s, 70s, 50s, all that kinds of stuff. And then I think of sports cards nowadays, with like Tom Brady's hottest cards and whatnot. I think of all these things in Luka as very, not short term, but shorter. I'm
Yes.
talking about year 5 year max investments. But I mean, when we're looking at like any 86 Fleer stuff, definitely longer term. 10, 20 year holds.
Yeah.
And right now, if you're not buying, you're just there.
But even like the Mahomes rookies and stuff that are like $3-4 million, right? That's
100%.
an investment. But it's like that's where I think you're right. And like I'm thinking about it is like there's more speculative opportunities too of like even investing in guys that are midway through their careers, right? Like
Yeah.
that you actually can be like, all right, well I'm gonna invest $4 million, hopefully, with appreciation, inflation, all these things, a couple years, down the road. That's
Jameis
an $8
Winston,
million.
baby.
That's
Jameis.
Quote me on this.
Don't tell everybody. Don't tell everybody. They're gonna
I
go
needed
buy
to
all the
go
buy
up.
it now.
I needed to go up.
Yeah, but not
No,
yet.
we were trying
Not
to set up
yet.
the national.
I'm already there.
Yeah, not
I'm
yet.
already there.
You're already trying to market manipulate.
Yeah,
we're doing it. We're
Jameis
pulling it.
Winston. Yeah, drop a bag on him.
Trey Lance. No.
Yeah,
Trey
Trey
Lance
Lance's
is my
prices
guy.
are already crazy.
I know,
it's
but I'm
ridiculous.
on board after that game, the first preseason game
Yeah.
that he
Really?
played. I was like, oof. And like so to me, I like watching a player's marketability too. Like that's what I was watching. Obviously the skill I was like, oh shit, he's good too. Like his passes were crisp. I don't know a ton about football, but to me, it's more the marketability,
Oh,
right? And like
that
the
matters so much.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
the demographics, like this is gonna sound weird, but like, are you a good looking guy or girl or not? But like that matters. It matters in the world. Yeah.
It's
And if
window
people just
shopping,
like
bro.
you
Yeah.
too.
Exactly.
window
Yes.
It's like
yeah.
if you're just this quiet dude all the time, most
Yep.
people really don't care.
Look at Mike Trout. Like Mike Trout, if he had a personality, I'm not talking shit about him, but like his cards are like probably the most expensive in baseball, right? But it doesn't compare to Luka's cards or things like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think it's because that globalization of their faces and their ability to market themselves,
Yeah.
smaller teams, like that. And
100%.
Mike's like, I just want to hunt and fish and then go hit 40 home runs a year.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's that plays a huge role in it.
People want like a backstory to like their cards almost. So it's like they want a little more.
You built the narrative.
Yeah,
You built
exactly.
the story is just there. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do anything for
Yeah.
it. And it's just a God give. You just came out the womb looking like Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, God bless you. He put his hand on your shoulder. That was it,
Yeah.
when he made you. I would
That's
say
so
that. Yeah.
funny, man. It's like the
Handhold it.
Jags are doing terrible in their preseason right now. Or from
Are
what
they?
I don't know if they're doing terrible, but they've lost to the Browns.
I'm not
And I
high
mean-
on Trevor Lawrence.
I'm
And
not
neither am
either.
I,
I'm
but-
not either. But the hobby loves him.
We were just talking about good looking people.
It's gonna
You know,
be
right? Yeah, he's
it's
got
gonna be
that-
a Baker Mayfield situation though.
You think?
I think it's just gonna crash out.
I always feel like
All right,
when,
guys,
a,
so-
when a high level quarterback like goes to like I don't know, like a city and team that like Cleveland Browns and like the
100%,
Jacksonville Jack, you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Makes me nervous for you. That's what made me nervous about Zion, the way that the Pelicans are looked at in the NBA. I love the Pelicans. I love New Orleans, so I have a different feel and bias. But I was like, how's the NBA and the market gonna like react to?
Try to get him traded. That's
Yeah,
what they're gonna
exactly.
do. It's so crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, was it the same case with the Bengals and Joey B? You know what I'm saying? Like
That's a
in a
good
way,
point.
you see what I'm saying?
No,
Because the
That's a good
Bengals
point.
weren't
it really
really
was. It
that-
was.
right,
Yeah.
but it was
So
just
he
one of those
pro-
scenarios where it worked out very well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
that
we were
was just
fortunate enough to have
yeah,
it.
because-
Exactly. Yeah, and made it to the Super Bowl in the
People
second year.
hated-
Yeah.
Hated the Bengals.
So I mean, like, do you
Yeah.
really think though? Like, I mean, that's one guy, and I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence isn't like that, but like realistically, do you believe that he could carry a team like that to
No,
the playoffs? At
I don't
least?
think so.
I don't
No.
think so either. I don't know though. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm selling in the
Yeah,
September
the
1st. Yeah, I'm getting that booklet up on the market.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good idea.
That's the plan. Or I wanted. I mean, I think the first game's like the 11th. I think they're playing some nobodies. No offense. That one of 32 team.
I love it. Well, good stuff, guys. We're probably gonna wrap this up, but this I don't know about you guys, but I had a good time with this. I thought it was fun.
Me too.
Maybe if you guys are down, we should do it again.
Anytime.
We can do it again.
Nice, let's go. We sold Jonah. I was
That's,
there.
that's saying that. That's a big deal.
I know. That's what I was saying. Like I feel like that's a win for us.
Yeah.
Like I was chilling on the purple couch.
I know. That's it. You just you're nervous about sitting on the purple couch, but now you know why we sit there.
It brings some level of confidence.
Yeah, it does.
I like
it's comfortable.
That. Yeah, it is. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Landon, go be a good husband and do your.
I'm on break. What are you talking about?
What? You're on a break from your wife? Today's your anniversary. No. I was saying, go put in your work. Go hang out with your wife. Go do your thing.
He said he's going to break.
Oh, you're going to break.
Oh, no, we are. We're breaking some Prism guys.
Yeah,
that's right.
We're doing those hangers and the megas today.
That's it.
And then we're
NFL, right?
Yeah, and then maybe some Donruss Optic later on. We'll see.
Nice.
Anyways, but yeah, I appreciate it though. Thanks for having us do this.
No problem.
Man. Really
Thank you
enjoyed
guys for the time. Appreciate y'all.
Fun.
Good.